The Royal London One Day Cup produced some high drama as Nottinghamshire and Somerset tied their match at Trent Bridge as the visitors let a winning position slip towards the end of a thrilling 50-over contest. Marcus Trescothick won the toss and decided to have a bowl, only to watch Alex Hales take 3 fours off 3 successive deliveries from Lewis Gregory in the game's first over. Hales hit 100 in the win over Sussex on Sunday, but was out in the 4th over here for 23 as he nicked Alfonso Thomas behind. Tim Groenewald then replaced Thomas in the 8th over, and with his 6th ball he had Michael Lum caught by Trescothick in the slips for 7. Then in the next over, James Taylor also nicked off, this time to Gregory, Trescothick with the tumbling catch as the Nottinghamshire skipper departed for 9. That left the home side in a bit of trouble on 42 for 3. Hardly the start they would have been looking for. Their talented batsmen keep on coming though, and one of them, Samit Patel, played nicely. His partner Ricky Vessel struck the first 6 of the day, launching Groenewald down the ground, and 3 balls later he went down on one knee and hit the same bowler well into the distance as both he and Patel advanced into the 40s. But when Patel also tried to go over the top, he found George Dockrell at long on off Craig Overton and left with 46 runs to his name. Nottinghamshire were then set back when they also lost Vessels for 44, bowled by Peter Trigo as the home side reached a score of 143 for 5 with 20 overs remaining. Those 2 wickets certainly prevented them from getting a really big score in the end, although James Franklin worked the ball around well for his boundaries as he and Chris Reed carried the total to 191 for 5 with 10 overs left. Reed went after Groenewald, this shot flying over the mid-wicket boundary as the 200 was brought up in the 41st over. But again, Notts lost wickets just at the wrong moment. Reed on 42 drove Groenewald to Trigo to end a 6-wicket partnership of 71 runs made in 13 overs. Stephen Mullaney tried to lift the rate at the end but holed out to Groenewald off Gregory to go for 8. Luke Fletcher got plenty on this shot off the same bowler but found James Hildreth, leaving it to Franklin to finish off the innings by completing a 50 off 60 balls, a knock containing 4 boundaries. He helped his side to a final score of 261 for 8 from their 50 overs, a total that Somerset would certainly have fancied chasing down. They were set 312 by Durham on Sunday and won that with 20 balls to spare, so they knew that a good start here would give them a great chance of making it 2 wins out of 2 and avenge the heavy loss to Nottinghamshire at Trent Bridge in last season's one-day semi-final. Trescothick and Nick Compton were soon putting their side in complete control, making steady progress through the power play in which 42 runs were scored. In the 12th over, Trescothick hit the first 6 of the reply off a free hit after Fletcher had overstepped. So Somerset appeared to be cruising and both openers recorded 50s. Trescothick, who went past 12,000 runs in the one-day game, was there first in the 20th over, his half-century occupying 52 balls from which he struck 4 fours and 1 6. Compton's 50 arrived 2 balls later as the 2 batsmen matched each other shot for shot. Compton had required 66 deliveries for his, and he'd found the boundary on 6 occasions. After 20 overs, this pair had knocked 106 runs off their target and now needed 156 more from the remaining 30 with all of their wickets intact. When Trescothick survived a very loud appeal for a catch behind off Mullaney, it looked as if this was not going to be Nottinghamshire's day. They watched the 2 Somerset openers take the total to 125 without loss at the halfway point of their innings. Finally, Nottinghamshire broke through as Trescothick on 61 swept Mullaney to Fletcher as the bowler got through his 10 overs for the cost of only 32 runs. 2 more wickets fell in 2 balls in the 29th over, and that began to balance this game up. Trigo clubbed Jake Ball to Lum in the deep. And next ball, Compton's innings was ended on 68 when he was hit on the pads bang in front of his stumps. That left it to 2 brand new batsmen in the form of Colin Ingram and Hildreth to start over, and the former, having got himself in, pulled Fletcher for a 6. Somerset were still the favourites to make it 2 wins from 2 as they were left with 72 to get from the last 10 overs with both Ingram and Hildreth going along rather nicely. The big moment was this one as Fletcher yacht Hildreth on 27 with 59 now needed off 46 balls. Ingram got to his half-century at a runner ball but was then out to the next legal ball he faced, Harry Gurney supplying the perfect delivery which left Somerset with 33 to get from 23. Gurney then showed why England like him so much in this format by bowling Overton in a similar manner, and now Somerset were left with 25 to get off 3 overs. Gregory, who'd scored a sensational century in the win over Durham, now had to keep his head. Every boundary eased the tension which was building ball by ball. Alex Barrow had hit his first ball for 4 but was out to his third. Ball this time getting his length and direction just right. So now 18 were required off the last 2 overs, and the first ball of the penultimate over saw Gregory out to a slower ball from Gurney, and now Nottinghamshire just about had the edge. But Groenewald came in and smashed his first delivery for a 6, and the equation became 7 runs to win for the visitors off the last over to be bowled by Fletcher. Only 5 came off the first 5 balls, and so we came to this decider. Groenewald got just enough on his shot, and the misfield at mid-on saw the batsman get through for a single. A moment of confusion followed as Thomas looked to steal another run. He was run out, but after the umpires confirmed that they'd called time, so this roller coaster of a game ended in a tie. Somerset finishing on 261 for 8, exactly the same as their hosts. The Royal London One Day Cup has already produced some stunning matches, and this one currently sits at the top. Both sides took a point for their efforts. Nottinghamshire were then on the road to Cardiff for a day-nighter with Glamorgan on Wednesday, a repeat of last year's one-day final, while Somerset head back to Taunton for a match with Kent on Thursday.